Like, it's not that hard to explain climate change to people. It's not that hard, but it is, unfortunately, science, you know, and stats and experts. And so just the sound of that, those things, is enough for this 2016 new breed of people to break out in hives, isn't it? They're like, wait, hang on a second. Did you say experts? You know, their bottom lip starts wobbling. You know, that it upsets them, or it makes them cross. You know, they grab their whiskey pitchers and pitchforks like an angry 18th century village mob. like that is who they're a village mob who don't want to be told that the village water well has been poisoned. Like, they just don't want to hear it. You know, somewhere along the line, I don't know when it happened, probably the advent of social media, somewhere along the line, we lost the ability to be able to handle being told bad news. That is what this is like. Doesn't matter if it's the downsides to Brexit. Doesn't matter if it's like your potential for catching a potentially deadly respiratory virus. Doesn't matter if it's climate change. Whatever it is, we just lost the ability to be able to handle being told some unfortunate news. And now we're just a angry village mob who don't want to be told that the well has been poisoned. And instead of listening to him, we lynched the fucking guy that's warning us. Like, that's basically where the political discourse is at now with climate change. You know, it's like a guy warning us. He's like, you know, I saw a horse take a shit in the well earlier. So I think maybe we have to like build a new well or something, or really like, I don't know, clean this one or take better care of it or so. And then somebody's like, well, what do you know about wells? Anyway, don't tell me about wells and which well I can drink out of. Like, who made you king of the well? I didn't vote for you. You know, you unelected water wanker, you know, or something like that. And he's like, well, you know, I've used this well like my whole life. Like, I've stood guard around it. You know, I've built 3 of them before. Like, wells are actually something I know a bit about, but like, I just don't want your kids using it and getting sick. That's all. You're trying to control us. He's just trying to control who gets to use the well and the water and shit. You know, I just don't want you and your family becoming unwell. That's all this is. I don't want anyone to get unwell. You don't want us to what? Unwell. I don't want you to be sick or infected. Unwell. You're trying to unwell us, to de-well us. You're trying to take away our rights, take away the things that we need to run an efficient township. I mean, what's next? There's some sort of cashless society, I suppose. I can see it now. Like, this is just the beginning, isn't it? We won't stand for it, will we? And here's where it gets like a bit problematic. It's that this guy who's like rearing up and like ridiculing the guy who's warning them all to not get sick, don't drink from the well. This guy, he actually quite likes the fact that everyone's listening to him. You know, that he's become this sort of de facto leader. And he's wondering, like, maybe it might result in me becoming town crier, you know, or something. And I'll get all the trimmings and all the respect. You know, I'll get to give speeches and, you know, if I just keep this shit up. So now he's like, follow me, everyone, follow me down the well. And the warning guy is still like, no, I'm begging you. No, follow me. You can't stop us. Follow me down the well, everybody. Because listen, townspeople, gather round, for I am very, very important. You must listen to me. You can have the well water. There's nothing even wrong with the well water. He's just trying to restrict it because he wants all the well water. Don't let this globalist authoritarian restrict your God-given freedom. Your right to gulp down this shit water. Like I know that sounds ridiculous. And it is. But this is that. You know, that is this. It's true of like Brexit, the pandemic, global warming. You know, we are now a nation of paranoid, insecure morons who run towards the well and not just not believing the warnings, but a lot of time even mocking the people who are warning you. You know, like not only do they not like the inconvenience of having a poisoned well, there's that. But not only do they not feel, totally secure in themselves based on the fact that this guy over here might know something about wells and they don't, maybe they feel a little bit silly about it, but now they're so devoid of self that they full on make this thing, whatever it is, their entire identity. And so instead of taking heed of the advice of the warning by the guy who might know what the fuck he's talking about, they stand there laughing at the well, pointing back at the guy who's warning them while they scoop out poop water and they're lapping and slurping it up, They're mocking him. He's like, please, I'm begging you, don't drink that fucking... And they're like, oh dear, should I not be enjoying the tainted water? Oh dear, oh no, look at me, somebody save me. Oh, I'm basically Eve taking the forbidden fruit. Oh, whatever will happen to me? Oh dear. And he's still like, please, oh God, I'm begging, please, no, don't, stop. Maybe you'll be okay if you just stop now, but can you just stop, And they carry on. They just gulp it down with a literal shit-eating grin. They're like, I don't see what the big deal is. Just sludging it out their mouths. And then what? And then smash cut to 24 hours later. What happens then? The whole town has drunk from this well and they're all fucking laid out on the floor at the top of this hill. Trembling bodies, everyone's sick and weak. They're just reverberating with hepatitis and fucking E. coli at the top of this hill, looking like some sort of fucked up top of the hill mass suicide. That is the sort of irony to this, isn't it? It's like, we look at these people like they're cult members a lot of the time, like they're Brexity flag wanking ideologues, right? Like we joke how deep they are in the Kool-Aid. And I always imagine them as being, part of a sort of Scientology style cult. I don't know if you guys do, but such is the can kicking of Brexit, that to reach those sunlit uplands. It's never enough. It's got to keep getting more and more radical. Like it started with leaving the EU, then it had to be the single market, then it had to be the customs union, then they had to debase the Conservative Party, then it was Parliament itself, now it's the ECHR. Nothing is ever enough. And eventually it's going to get to that. Eventually it's going to be like, well, to actually reach the sunlit uplands, you're going to have to drink this shit. That is truly how I see the Brexit endgame materializing. And yet, if we go back to the well metaphor thing, the guy warning them, like, I'm begging you, please, don't drink the shit water. And they all just maliciously drink it, with this shit round their mouths and locking eye contact with him the whole time, like they're meanly drinking it. Weirdly, they all end up dead on the top of a hill too. So I don't know, maybe that really is just a natural end game to this sort of stuff. I don't know.